Hey everybody, Dave from Dave Moore Racing here. So this video is actually sponsored by Mike at ModQuad because they get so many questions from people of how to install the mechanical water pump and seal, bearing, oil seal on the cases. He asked me if I would set up and do a video for him. So he's paying for it so you guys can watch it. You're gonna have to forgive me. We have 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts today. That is what all the clanking around sounds are. All right, so I'm gonna show you how I do it here in the shop. Now I have some specialty tools that I've built to make this a lot easier, but I'm also gonna show you how you can use some tools at home to put this together. So this is the replacement water pump assembly from ModQuad, and it is a little bit different than the OEM in the fact that this actually threads on. And you'll notice that there's no washer on here like there is on the OEM and some of the aftermarket kits. When I designed this, I added the thickness of that washer to it so that we could eliminate that. So that's gonna screw in there just like that. Okay, this is what the kit looks like. And I'm gonna go about showing you how we are going to install it. So the first thing that we're gonna do is install the oil seal, and it's gonna go in from this side of the case. You can see there's a nice chamfer that we put in there to make it easy to put it in. Now, I have a tool that I made that holds these so that I can press them down square. You could use a deep 3/4 inch socket, the back end of it, just to make sure that it's square in the bore. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there and press it down in. And that's in there. See, that's setting nice and square in there. Next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna install the bearing. And that is gonna go in on the back side. Now, once again, you could tap this in lightly with a small hammer, just tapping it in around. I'm gonna use my my installer piece that I have. It's just gonna go up here and thread into this. I'm just gonna tighten this down and it'll draw that bearing in there. Like this. Like I said, you could just be careful and you could tap it down in there. You could light press it down in there. It doesn't take much. There's only about a 1/2 thousandths interference fit on that, so it doesn't take a lot to get it in there. So that's nice and seated down inside of there. Take this back off. Now where most people have problems is installing this part of the mechanical water pump seal. Getting these in here without damaging them. Now you can use, this is a 1-inch socket, and that will fit over there because you just want to apply the pressure on this edge, not on the seal assembly part up here. You just want it on the edge. So you could use something like this and then put it down in there and tap it around until you feel it seat down. I'm gonna use this seal driver that I built here, right like that. And that's gonna go in there. I'll put this back in and tighten it up. And it's just gonna draw that down, and you'll feel when it bottoms out. And then it's seated in there. All right, that's seated in there. Get this assembly out. All right, now that's seated in all the way around. This is still floating. A lot of times what'll happen is when people are putting them in, this part here is just glued or laminated to the steel part that you press into the cases, and that will get torn off, and then you'll leak through this little weep hole here. The OEM has, or OEM cases have this also. You see water coming out of here. 99.9% of the time it is because this has popped off of its backing, or it doesn't have enough preload between the back of the water pump impeller and this seal. All right, so let's move on to this part right here. So this is our water pump impeller, and we are going to install that seal in there. Don't get crazy pressing on that unevenly, okay? You want to press on it evenly. That's made out of ceramics. Make sure that is seated down in there. And then we're going to grab a rag and wipe that off. I'm going to take a little bit of cleaner. You can use acetone, brake parts cleaner. Just make sure that surface is clean. Make sure this surface is clean. Basically, it's not the oils that I'm worried about that would be introduced from your hands. It would be any sort of particle that would be embedded in that, because these two surfaces are going to run against each other, and that's what's going to create the seal. So, next thing, take the water pump shaft, and you're going to bring that through from behind. And then you're going to take this. Now there's no need to Loctite these on, because the direction of rotation of this shaft means that it's constantly tightening up on this. It's not loosening up. Now you can put a little bit of Loctite on this if that makes you feel better, a little blue Loctite on it. I haven't found it necessary, so we're just going to put this one together like this. And bring that down. Now normally what I would do to get this snug down on there is I would put this in my 3-jaw and just tighten it up. But since you probably don't have one of those at home, what we're going to do is just take this piece of fuel line right here and put it over the shaft. That way we can go ahead and take a set of vice grips and grab it. Make sure you don't grab on the tongs, go down on the body of the thing and break those. You don't want to break those off. And then we're just going to go ahead and give this a little bit snugging. And that is the water pump installed. Give it a turn. You want to feel some resistance, but if you can't turn it by hand like this, then the spacing between the back of this, the seals, there's too much pressure on them, and so it may need to be shimped. Now, if you're using it on one of our covers, everything should work perfectly. If you're using it on an OEM, it should work perfectly, but you know, we don't live in a perfect world, so if you have a problem, it feels like it's way too tight on there, then stop. You can always call Mike and ask him, which you'll get directed to talk to me about it, and then I'll probably just have you send me a video of, you know, what kind of resistance we're looking at. It's always important to make sure that the stuff is running right. So the next thing that we're going to do now is go ahead and put the locating pins, the gaskets, and the separator and finish this up. All right, so we're going to place our locating pins, dowels in right there. Then we're going to put one gasket down. We'll take the separator and install it. Down another gasket. And just to show you here, these come with 2 long and 2 short. And the 2 short ones go out here. The 2 long ones go where the locating dowels are. So we're going to go ahead and put that onto there. And the long one in here and here. Short ones into here and here. And then snug them up. This procedure will be the same if you're using an OEM cover or a ESR cover. There you go. It's all ready to go. We can go ahead and install this one. And I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. Share this video with somebody. Thanks, and we've got another one coming up for you.